Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastic. Just kidding. Hey, listen, I'm sitting in for Connor today. He's very, very ill, and it feels terrible to steal his intro. I've been poking fun at him for the past 3 or 4 days about having an immune system that falls over like Jack Grealish, but now I feel bad because he is properly ill, so much so that he can't come on stream. So I'm Gabe standing in today, and we're going to talk about Leeds United. We're going to talk about this match against Bournemouth and our existential fear around it. So what I want to do is break down a little bit of a preview. I want to get your comments in. A lot of fan dialogue today. Good evening, Mockingbird. Yes, Gabe. Yes, Justin. Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, Jaguar. How we doing? Listen, done a little bit of an analysis on this Bournemouth match. I have some real concerns. A couple things I want to throw out to you. So here's some of the positives, right? Our record against Bournemouth, really, really good. 10 wins, 3 losses. Fantastic in this division. We've won 9 of the last 10. So those are some positive indicators for you. Some of the not so positive indicators, well, we're playing away from Ellen Road. We are the second worst away team away from home in the Premier League, second only or above only Nottingham Forest. Come on, man, that clickbait was top drawer. You know, Ryan, I'm here for it. Listen, please, everyone, send your well wishes to Connor, by the way. He has been dead ill this week and been forced to listen to Brownie and I argue incessantly over where we're going to get points. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Brownie wasn't able to join us today either. He's been very, very busy. So you're stuck with me. Hopefully we'll make it a good stream. Listen, some other causes for concern concerning the Bournemouth game. We've scored then conceded in 8 straight matches. That's the worst return for us since 1987. We've lost 3 of our last 5 against newly promoted sides. So some real reasons for concern here. We are playing away from Ellen Road. We're playing a Bournemouth team that has won 6 of their last 11. They've been shellacked a couple times in there. West Ham seemed to wake up against them. So is this a winnable fixture? We've been talking all season about, not all season, God, it feels like all season, past 3 or 4 weeks about this being a match that we absolutely have to win. I felt the Leicester match was a must win for this reason. Didn't want to have to play a resurgent team away from home in a scenario in which we need all 3 points. But it's very difficult for me to see us staying up in this division if we can't beat Bournemouth, even if we are away from home. Some comments here. Gabe, you need to be in your car, fella. Yeah, if I'm going to do a true Connor imitation, I need to be in the car. The sacrifices that man makes. Everybody, please smash the like button. And Connor's going to have a lot more bespoke content for the true devotees amongst you. So please subscribe to the Patreon as well. Want to get to some of your comments here. But first, I want to break down the squad availability for this match. Some of the usual suspects are out still. Stuart Dallas, I don't know if we'll ever see him play again. That's horrible to say. But he's just been hurt all season. He was hurt last year. It's just pretty horrific. So won't be seeing Stuart Dallas again. Tyler Adams still ruled out for the season. Luis Sinisterra, it's been announced he has ligament damage. He will not be playing for the rest of the season, which is a massive blow to Leeds United prospects going forward. Max Vober has not been training with the team, so it is highly likely he will be out on Sunday, which, again, another massive blow. Which leads us into the subject that I think you all are pining to talk about. And I really want to get your comments in, so please throw them into the chat. Gracia has been asked repeatedly about Willy Gnonto. And he made some comments recently that I think were taken out of context. He said that no player is special, and that I think that the interpretation was that he thought Willy Gnonto wasn't a good player, wasn't a special player. I think what he's trying to say is that he's not going to comment over one player over another, and no one gets special treatment in that regard. It's not unique. He doesn't refer to the individuals. However, the chorus has been so loud that he's had to address the rumors of a fallout. He came out and praised Gnonto's character, says he's an excellent character with a lot of ability, and that he's going to get opportunities. I think that the most likely scenario here is that Gracia just doesn't rate him, which is puzzling. I know that we tend to be a reactionary, a very emotional fan base, but it's hard to fathom that one of our most creative players who has scored goals and with limited opportunities, and I think probably prolonged Jesse Marsch's job for a while, has not only been dropped, but in some cases isn't even getting in. So that's very, very concerning. The only other sort of reason I can think of is that maybe he's looking at Aronson coming out of the 10. It seems that Gracia's qualifications for playing in the 10 is the attributes of a track and field athlete and not really a Premier League ready footballer. So I guess in that sense, Gnonto may not qualify. But yeah, it's really hard to fathom. This guy's a professional. He's been a successful manager. I'm not going to pretend that I know more about the game than he does, but it is baffling. that Willie Gnonto is so far down the pecking order. So even with Luis Sinisterra out, I actually expect him to go with Chris Somerville instead of Willie Gnonto. I hope I'm wrong. Let me know what you think. But I think, at this point, you have to think about dropping Aronson in perpetuity for the rest of the season. Hopefully we stay up and he can have a nice, strong off season. But I think in terms of his contributions, I don't necessarily see the wisdom of continuing to persist with Brendan Aronson. There are some other options for Gracia. He hasn't seen to show any predilection for playing Jorginho Ruta either. So it's our most expensive January signing in club history. Can't get a game. So all sorts of lineup questions here. Based on previous selections, I would venture to say that he's probably going to go with Somerville, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's look at some of what you're saying. Calgary calling here. Sadly, I have no faith in Gracia. Now, or the players, I think we lose. Thank you. I think we lose 3-1, and we are done and down, sadly. I so hope to be wrong. Get well soon, Connor Powell. Listen, it's hard. So we've been having this sort of debate in our WhatsApp chat about where the points need to come from. And we're at this space, and we have been for weeks now, where we're looking at the performance of the teams around us and hoping for the next 5 matches for us that we can somehow pull a result out and that these teams will continue to lose. And you got to remember, when you're doing math like this, you're dealing with other teams, right? So there's 5 matches for one team, 5 matches for another team, 5 matches for another team. That's 15 matches where we have to hope they don't get any points. It's not so great. Not so great. Big Paul in the house. Wonder if Javi will go to a midfield 3 playing 4-shot. He seems to like that 4-2-3-1. I can't imagine him making a lot of tactical switches at this point. I think in his interpretation, he's probably going to look at the performances we've had on the pitch and say, well, they've been okay until the wheels have come off. He seems to be a bit of a stubborn guy. I don't mean as a personality, but I mean in terms of his tactics and his substitutions. Okay, let's see. Don't win and it's over. I completely agree, Steven. Need Ruta and Rodrigo down the middle. Rip Bamford's contractor for missing that open goal. Listen, I want to talk about Patrick Bamford as well, and I want to hear in the comments here. So he's getting a lot of stick, and rightfully so, on social media about how that miss against Leicester may have cost us the season, and we may go down because of that. I would say that is a bridge too far. What I would interject is that he is 9th in the Premier League in big chances missed, in 82nd or 83rd, I don't remember, in goals scored. That is a chasm of a gulf in those two statistics, and it really shows. We're not talking about 1 or 2 results with a difference like that. We're talking about maybe 3 or 4 matches won potentially. So yeah, I don't think it's fair to necessarily say that because he missed that one chance against that one side in that one match that we're going to go down. But likewise, I do think it's fair to say that his high quality chance misses, his performance against his XG, and we're not even talking about shots saved by excellent keeper saves or anything. We're just talking about big chances missed. Not great. He's not a Premier League player, full stop. He's better for us when he's injured and doesn't play. And, Bamford to put things right, hopefully I would like for nothing more. At this point, in the first half of the season, Rodrigo was playing really, really well. He's playing under a different system, a different style of play. We had more possession in the attacking third. Right now, it seems our style of play is to exist in a mid block and then play a long ball and hope that Bamford can hold it up and we can get chances based off that, winning second balls and playing players. And to be honest, I'm not sure what we're doing anymore. First couple of matches under Gracia, I like the possession-oriented style and building out from the back, but we don't seem to be doing that anymore. We seem to be winning back possession in our own half and playing a long, hopeful ball from one of the fullbacks to the fulcrum point, which is Patrick Bamford. And there's a lot of this narrative has been how great he is at holding up the ball. I haven't seen it. He's better than Rodrigo, and I think Rodrigo as an isolated number 9 is not going to work any longer in this system. But hi, Gabe. Javi seems to be frozen with fear. We need to be brave. Yeah. So, and I want to hear your comments about this in particular. I feel the biggest thing that I have seen just lost in the side because we're not just talking about 2 managers. We're talking about effectively 3. These guys went from Jesse Marsch, who played a very particular way. Now, we all have feelings about how well that particular way worked, but he did have them all on side playing a particular way. Then to Skubala, who added a little bit more width and still wanted to press high, to Javi, who keeps the width, but we're not really pressing anymore. We're sort of passively playing. Um, it seems the multiple degrees of separation. Then, of course, remember, you have years and years of Bielsa drilled into some of these players, right? So, which is a very, it's murder ball. It's a much more high octane, physically demanding way of playing. I think a couple things have suffered. I think the fitness has suffered under Gracia. The players don't seem to have the same engines on them anymore. I think that the commitment. There's always been questions over this side's ability to keep dialed in for 90 minutes, but the commitment to what they were doing, that seems to have really struggled as well. So that concerns me. And then the lineup selections, selecting a side to go from Willie Gnonto playing all the time to not playing at all. It's baffling, absolutely baffling. So, all right, let's get to some more comments here. Marshall's a better manager than Javi. I don't necessarily think that's true, Chris. I think that now in hindsight, we know what the real problems are. I think managers make it easy, right? We can point up to a manager and say, this isn't good enough, which we should. I mean, that's an accountability job. If the results don't get there, they don't get there, and the manager needs to be held accountable. And then we can look to the players next. The players have let down a number of managers. I think that Marsh had a lot of matches that should have been won. It quite easily could have been won if the players had kept focused for 90 minutes or Patrick Bamford had finished. Gracia is now experiencing this. I think even Skubala, in his short stint in charge, experienced this. And nobody experienced it more than Marcelo Bielsa, who is deeply and profoundly let down by these players. So who's accountable? We know who's accountable. Andrea Radrizzani, Victor Orta. These are the most accountable folks to go out in a January window when we're close to a relegation battle, when we're in a relegation battle. Pick up one defender for a bargain. That was great. It's fantastic. And then but ultimately spend a record signing on a player who is not a number 9, who's not a developed product. Think about this. We've spent over 60 million quid combined, euros combined on Brendan Aronson and Jorginho Rutter. Aronson's played more, so you can hold him more accountable. But the fact of the matter is that's really bad spending. So we can point to Gracia and say he's a bad manager. He's had mixed results in his career, but I think many of the Watford fans have spoken very highly of him. Jesse Marsh, I think it's hard to say he's a better manager than Javi. And obviously Bielsa's pedigree speaks for itself. So at some point we have to, I know week to week we're looking for new targets of our ire, but ultimately it comes down to the same folks in charge. Javi has lost the players. They still played for Jesse even at the end. That is one thing I will say. I'll also go ahead and point out that he's switched. He's taken the captain in and out of the team. He didn't rate Cooper for a while. Now he's playing Cooper. The Pascal Struijk experiment at center back's not really an experiment, is it? But it didn't really work out. So I think it's probably clear to the players that he doesn't know his best 11. And if you can't, in a relegation battle, you have to get everybody on side, right? And so if you're showing that you don't know what your best team is, the players aren't going to have a lot of confidence in you. Marsh talked a good game. Yes, he did. Barn door has cost us 2 points and it will cost us going down. All right. So let's get into some of the predictions for the Bournemouth match. As I said, we're playing away from home. We have a woeful away record. We're playing a team that's won 6 of their last 11. Everybody had Bournemouth going down, myself included. And one of the reasons we stated that was because of the manager. What an unknown. I think he's done a very, very good job. He's taken this side that, if you remember, Scott Parker said in the beginning of the season, there was no way, it wasn't fair over this side to compete. How wrong he was. But wait, Connor, you all right, fella? Look a bit rough and what's with this American accent. Listen, a couple of weeks ago, some of you were mentioning that I looked like I was sleeping rough, and you're right. So I tried to trim it up a little bit. I don't quite have Connor's jawline, so it's never going to happen. The poor guy, I'm glad he's not being accused of looking anything like me. 3-1 Leeds, a prediction from Chris. Chris, very bold. I would love to hear why, although I love the optimism. Graham says 4-1 Bournemouth. 4-1 Bournemouth from Graham again. Jaguar skills. Bournemouth 2, Leeds 1. Listen, my prediction for this match is pretty simple. I think Bournemouth probably win 2 or 3 to 1. Danny, you're right. I agree with you there. That being said, I want to tell you why I'm predicting that we have to win this match, because the only team that we have left to play, we played Newcastle United. We managed a 0-0 draw, but we played a different style. We played a style that was better against superior opposition who wanted to play around us. We made it very difficult for them. Sowed chaos and confusion. Bournemouth is not a team that is that technically superior. And Newcastle United, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place now. I was talking about getting a point against Newcastle, whether I think that's going to happen again. And the answer is no. No, Newcastle have kicked it up a notch in terms of their form. I don't think we're set up to play spoiler anymore. And the fact of the matter is that if we sit in a mid block passively and wait for Newcastle to attack us and hope to play long ball to Patrick Bamford, we're going to lose that match 3-4-0. Then we play Man City. And then we play West Ham United, and then we have Tottenham. Tottenham's maybe the one fixture I would say maybe we can get something from. So the maximum I see us getting, if we manage to beat Bournemouth, maybe we take 4 more points. We would finish with 34 on the season. Not quite enough to keep us up under regular circumstances, but this season's very, very weird. That being said, I think in order to be safe, we absolutely have to win this match. And I thought we had to win the Leicester match too. Now, listen, what are the actual probabilities for us beating this Bournemouth team? The only thing I would say is that Bournemouth's form is scintillating compared to ours, but still, objectively, in a vacuum, they're not pulling up trees in this division, right? They are a beatable side. If we can't beat Bournemouth, we're certainly not going to beat anyone else. So, who said 6-2? Our goals, own goals. Low blocking against City will be 10-0. Listen, I said this the last time I was on the debrief to Connor. If we go and play Man City and sit in a mid to low block, Erling Haaland think of who our center halves are. And we don't have Max Vober, who's nowhere near as good a defender to slow down Erling Haaland. But if he comes up against Liam Cooper and Robin Koch, or somehow Pascal, because Liam Cooper gets hurt all the time. Oh my God, 3-4 goals for Haaland easily padding the record. Jaguar Skill says Bournemouth's confidence is sky high going into this match. Yeah, I 100% agree. Football's weird, right? So, but do I think that the season is over if we lose on Sunday? Yeah. I mean, as a statistics guy, I can tell you that statistically, probably not. But you just have to, you're doing this kind of calculus in your head. Now, I'll try not to overcomplicate the stuff that Connor tells me to put a lid on the stuff all the time because it's annoying and pedantic. But if you're looking at, if we lose the Bournemouth match, we will have 4 more matches that we're not favored to get anything from. If you look at Everton's last 4, Nottingham Forest's last 4 compared to ours, Nottingham Forest have Bournemouth. Not Bournemouth. They have Southampton in there. So if they're even within a point or 2 of us and they win that Southampton match, we're not getting any more points. We're going down. I think we're down. If we don't beat Bournemouth, we're down. That's the prediction I'm going to give. Okay. Going to read some more of the comments here. West Ham is in a European tournament. Those players are tired. Yeah, that's been their excuse all season. Mary Poppin Caps. It's a quality username. It's been their excuse all season, but I do think that they're starting to find some form. And look, they have better players than us. It's very similar to how I felt about Leicester. Just better. But we were fortunate to get out of that with a draw. We were fortunate. I don't remember the player's name, but the Leicester player on their second goal, all he has to do is hold his run for a couple seconds. He's got to tap in. So we were so fortunate. I think most will agree, Gabe. Yeah. I think our season was over as soon as we lost Tyler Adams. That's a comment that was made. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Shocking recruitment. Absolutely shocking. To put, essentially, you're creating a profile for a type of player and saying, we're going to bring in this midfield destroyer who doesn't do a lot of forward progressive play, but we're going to build our squad identity around being difficult to play against. And when he goes down, we're relying on a guy who can't stay healthy, Anthony Forshaw, to even step in that type. This squad is like a quilt of random fabric thatched together that they've paid too much money for. To pay, listen, I'll take some stick for this, but I rate Weston McKennie. Maybe I'm just biased, but the fact of the matter is he's not been good enough here, and he's not the kind of buy this club needed. Not given the squad makeup right now and who we actually have available. So just woeful, horrendous spending by us. Walter White, brilliant. Okay, little little Netflix reference here. Gabe, the last man standing. Adams is an amazing player. We don't want to see McKennie and Rocca in midfield. Yeah, McKennie and Rocca have both been terrible. McKennie played better last match, I thought, the first half, but couldn't sustain it for 90 minutes. I think that's part of the fitness levels that have dropped at Leeds United. Although no one would accuse McKennie of being the most fit player on the pitch, but he is. I've seen him go 90 minutes and run his socks off, so it does happen. Why are the Leeds board neglected the defense? It's a great question. It's a great question that you could look at in anybody. You don't have to be Jamie Carragher, who spoke to Connor off camera, the show they did, and said that you have the worst defense in the division. He's right. I think anybody can see that. That we haven't reinforced it. That we've sent Cody Drama on loan. Look, I mean, I'm not one of those players that looks at a player performing in the championship and thinks they can duplicate that at the Premier League. But I mean, we've been really poor at right back. And you can't tell me that Cody Drama isn't a step up from Rasmus Christensen. You can't. McKennie's been dreadful, Gabe. He has. He has been dreadful in some matches. I think that in other matches he's been very good. One match he's been very good, and others he's been middling. He hasn't shown enough, and I don't think he's a good fit for this side. So I don't disagree with you. McKennie only played well to deflect the drama coming his way. I'm not sure that's how professional footballers work. I like Drama. Surely he could get into the squad. 100% agree. 100% agree. I would play Cody Drama right now. I would. I'm not sure where Luton are in the table. I think they're in a playoff spot in the championship, so they could go up. And there's still chatter and rumors that Leeds United want to sell him. It might sell him. Why would you do that? I don't understand it. Let's see here. Our best right back is at Luton. Yeah, I agree. West Ham will be on the beach by the time we play them. Yeah, but I got to say, there were a lot of questions about David Moyes this season, so I think he's going to want his players to stay dialed into the end of the year. I think his stock has gone down a little bit. Michael Pollard said, Gabe, I said Drama was a mistake via Super Chat to go on loan. You disagreed on our earlier debrief. I don't have to watch it back. I'm fully willing to say I was wrong. You're right. I was wrong. No issues with that. We don't always get it right here on our first take. JC says, I try to stay positive, but I'm struggling towards squad's poor. No team cohesion. Yep. Manager is poor. Board is poor. I thought after the Palace game we were done. I haven't seen anything to change my mind. Yeah, it's been pretty poor. Pretty poor. It's hard to disagree. Not a lot of reasons for optimism here. Please smash the like. Think about subscribing to the Patreon. Lots of great content there, including Generation Leeds, where you can hear from Connor's old man. He's a top guy. And I agree with most, if not all, of his opinions, which is a delight. Orta is the root cause for all our issues, including giving his mate a job as goalkeeper coach, which has stopped Melier's development. I actually don't know anything about that detail. Yeah, I didn't know it was his friend. That's very interesting. But it is difficult to look at Ilan Melier's performances and say that there's been any development there this season. He's definitely regressed. Paul Smith says it's like a slow death. We all know what's coming. We are weak and have some hidings coming. Yeah, I agree. Coming up on 24 minutes here, we're going to take another 5 or 6 minutes to get to your comments here. Please make sure to smash the like button. I'm saying words like smash the like button now. I've become a YouTube shill. Look, in terms of how you would line up, I'm interested to hear from you who you would play and where. So know that we're going to play the 4-2-3-1 system. We've not gone to a 4-3-3. We're not going to go to a 4-3-3. I'd be very, very shocked if we did. But for me, who do you play at the back? I think it has to be, now that we know that Max Vober's out, it has to be Liam Cooper and Robin Koch again. Koch's been off form, but I just don't see any betters. 4-2-3-1 front to back. Give us your lineup and why. Yes, echoing the sentiments already. I still don't like the pairing of Mark Rocca and Weston McKennie. I think that we'd be more difficult to play against with one or the other. However, I think that the bright start in the first half made me believe that we should start with those two guys again. And then at halftime, especially if we somehow get a lead and we keep Rocca and McKennie on together, that'd be horrible mistake for me. Adam Forshaw has to come on if he's fit, has to come on for one of the two to shore up, give more support to the defense. Firpo, Cooper, Cock, and Ailing. Yeah, I agree, Dave. I think that's the best four we have, which is shocking. Cooper, Cock, Firpo, Ailing. Yep. Um, Yep, seems like this is resonating across. Anybody disagree? I'd love to hear that comment as well. Did you see Beckford spoke to Nyanto? What is going on? Nyanto replied saying he doesn't know why he's treating him bad. Yeah, he said he doesn't know why he's in the team, why he's not in the team. And fair enough. It seems like the manager hasn't told him. It seems like the manager just doesn't rate him. Danny says Melier, Ailing, Cooper, Cock, Firpo, Forshaw, Rocca, Somerville, Rodrigo, Harrison, Bamford up top. I'm interested to know why Rocca over McKennie. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do Rocca over McKennie. I'm just curious to know because for me, all things being equal, they've both been poor. Rocca, no, please more of him. I've seen enough. I, like Connor, felt that Rocca was getting stick that I didn't understand. That being said, he's had a lot of matches to prove his worth, and I think he's I don't know if it's just playing in difficult circumstances, and it can't be overstated. We have to hold the players accountable. I agree with that, but it can't be overstated how difficult it is to come into a new league already, come in the Premier League, to be playing a style of play that is difficult for players like Mark Rocca, right, in Jesse Marsh's system. To then have a manager changed, have another manager changed, and not necessarily being sure who's going to play alongside you, how you're going to play, and I don't know that the players know what they're supposed to be doing either. I think that, other than the way they're supposed to defend, I don't think, can anybody tell me what the attacking plan when we have the ball, what that seems to be? I'd be very impressed. The front four, Harrison on the left, Somerville on the right, Bamford up top, and Nyanto at the 10 behind Bamford. Listen, it's hard for me to drop Rodrigo, right? Even though he's not been great, his work rate was very, very good last match. And he is our leading goal scorer by a country mile. So it's hard for me to not sit him. Plus, we haven't seen Nyanto at the 10. I know he's shadowed there for Italy, but he's a winger. He's an out-and-out winger. So I think we need. I would put him in over Somerville. I do rate Somerville, but I like to see Somerville come off the bench. Let's see. The comment here about missing Diego Llorente. I mean, he's playing well elsewhere, but we don't miss him the way he was playing for us. It was pretty poorly. Sean says the irony is that we need an attacking approach of and our sacked managers, Bielsa, Marsh, not tactics, but mentally. Now we have a defensive Javi. Yeah, and it's passive defense as well. So one thing we've talked about is that these players can't necessarily play a possession-oriented system. That they're not wired that way. They don't have that skill set. And I think that continues to be true. So it's tough. Certainly the type of play we were getting under Jesse Marsh was not effective in getting us results. I would say that we were much more competitive in the matches, but in the end, the most important thing that matters is results. We weren't getting them. And so I think he deserved to go. To have a manager come in and play an entirely different way. I think a new manager bounce and then contribute into putting us into the worst run of form we've had all season is bad. Mega King Richard said, Gabe, yeah, Llorente playing very well under a coach that knows what he's doing and around a better team. Yeah, I mean, as a center half, I would love to play for Jose Moreno. Absolutely. Get JB in. No. 5 matches left. We're not going to the academy or into the junior players who are still developing and the most important position on the pitch. I don't think we can do it. Right. So we're coming up on 30 minutes here. So I think I'm going to leave it there, everybody. Want to thank everybody for joining in. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Think about joining the Patreon community. Really good community there. Lots of bonus and extra content that Connor puts out. And send Connor a little tweet here and there, reminding him that his immune system is like that of Jack Grealish. Is a little touch, and it completely goes down. I'm just kidding. He is actually quite ill. So listen, thank you very much. We'll see you all next time. And up the Leeds. Let's hope we can get a miracle this week.